Okay, teacher, we are going to speak about the problem of lack of education. And yeah, why is a problem? The root cause of poverty is lack of education. So if you can read or do basic math, if you can show up for work and apply yourself, you will not have a job and you will get poor. Other actions may end poverty, but the word on poverty is 50 years old and the gains are few. And the clear path forward is to realize that the premise that poor children can be taught is wrong and to give to the city's children a good academic, social, behavioral, and physical education right now. The human potential currently going to waste could be turned into the economic engine, one that would make our region the envy of the nation and demonstrate a better route to prosperity than building stadiums and other physical investments. Fortunately, the country citizens can take direct action. Good teaching is hard work. So teaching children mirrored in poverty is even harder. To address the needs of these children requires a completely different structure or business model. Putting bandages on the current broken system is not working. Here we can see the four principal countries that have the ranks of more lack of education. We can see Equatorial Guinea, Myanmar, Central African Republic, and Zambia. Next, my classmate Samar.
In educational institutes, there are conflicts that affect academic performance, which causes school failure due to different causes, whether emotional, family, psychological, personal, mistreatment by family, college, or others, which implies, among other consequences, apathy and lack of interest in studies.
And another solution about education is that, for example, when we don't have class presential, we look that some people don't have some resource to, for example, now in COVID to connect to class, and they lost the go to class and learn. So one solution could be help with virtual resource so that despite not being able to attend school but you can continue learning. In addition to that, not only will you stay with the learning of the school because you have all of the information that the internet provides. And of course, this resource could be give you the government because it's obvious.
Okay, great. Do you have somebody else here?
Here's my tone, teacher.
Huh?
Que me toca, teacher.
Oh yeah, go, Brian.
Okay, okay. Oh no. Oh, okay, you can see, teacher.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, we see it clear.
Okay, the second problem is COVID, lack of education. Right. Okay, first yeah, I was talking about this, the consequences. I divided in some consequence. Okay, it is one, two, three, four, five consequences. First is the acceptance of a life destined to serve. Is work to work until that. It is the second idea. Is the ideal of working for a salary and so on to that. Work is a thing that do salud, that do healthy, that do good values, etc. And stagnant country benefit only those who are at the top of the social pyramid. It is the benefits that only receive the politic, politicals, politicos, los políticos, people in the public sector, banqueros, um, the acceptance of a bad government, electoral circus, I don't know how translate política farandulera, it is more approximately that I find. Okay, this is the consequence that have a poor education and a lack education in Ecuador. But why? It is the question, why? Pero no quiere pasar. Okay. Education builds character and a social criteria, no criteria, but it is requires economic investment. Education is free in the books, in the theory, but transport, food, basic devices have a cost. All have a cost. The books, the pens, all the academic instruments have a cost. It is not free, but free is the education. I go to the school, I sit down, I listen. It is free. The rest no. True education focuses on the faults of the system and how to fix them. But our education in Ecuador and South America in general, is westernized, is adequate to the Occidental and to the European system academic uh, that Latin America and South America acquired in the colonialism. Theoretically, the current state seeks that no one complains through censorship or repression of a media of education itself. Uh, for idea, we have that an ignorant population accepts unfair politics and treatments because it is the reality they are used to. They are they live this daily. About the electoral politics related by the lack of education. They are the politicians, politics in the power, they are people who although they may have all the good intentions in the world. But your acknowledgement about of the why of the laws or of the need to understand the social structure for this law, it is not the best, is insufficient in the majority of the cases. They can also be people who only seek their benefit through the power of the state. We have good people and bad people in all the situations, and politics are not the exception. The biggest problem of lack of education in Ecuador is the creation of laws by whims. It is selfish wish for the people rather than by necessity. These laws are made and approved by those who have no idea what the laws are or the benefit they should mean. Solutions. Educate yourself socially and politically so as not to build a paper democracy influences for the brightness and the future light. How Azucena Aymara, el mijín ese que canta de los políticos que nos roban la razón, hasta Nietzsche. Demand has a society unadequate education for all because it is a right of all of us. It is in the why humans in the level of higher humans of 1969. For a conclusion is if those from below mouse, those from above fall. A state requires the contribution of all for the good of all. I think
Okay. Okay. Let me just take notes from a little bit more. Almost contributes. Okay, so I like the solutions you just presented, and it's actually nice what you just said. Started speaking about the problem, main problem of education, and then just giving some solutions like giving tools, yeah, for what's happening right now with COVID and stuff. And these tools will enable students to educate themselves, as Brian mentions in the second part. Adequate education, that's kind of a hard one, but yeah, um, adequate education or education that's uh, actually useful, kind of hard but possible. And I like the last part you said, all must contribute for the benefit of all. Okay, meaning that everybody has to give a little bit of them, or what they do or what they can provide, to for the education of all, because everybody, it's beneficial for all of us. So that's nice, that's nice. uh anyway, I do have some questions, but before my questions, what about you? Do you have any questions? Stefanos, Samar, everybody, all the people who didn't, who were just listening. Maybe Christina, your microphone is on again. Do you have any questions to this group, or if you don't, a summary or your opinion on in education? Cristina Arias.
No, I don't have questions.
Okay, so what's your point of view in the lack of education here in Ecuador? Do you think it's a problem that has to be solved, or do you think it's a secondary problem?
I think it's a primordial problem. I don't know how to say this word. Because the education gives the children the opportunity of have a job, a good job, and don't, I don't say murder, don't say murder.
Uh-huh. And not being in crimes and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, this don't be in crime.
Okay, okay, not being in crime, because murder is just like killing, you know. Crimes is crimes in general. So
But this too.
yeah, yeah, indirectly, yes, yes, you're right about that. I know you're working in something that has to do with education of low resourced kids, right? What are you doing for that? Can you explain a little bit of what Aldeas Infantiles is doing for that?
Yeah, for us, for our organization, it's so important to the education for the children, because this gives them the opportunity of, como dije antes, sorry, give a job, a good job. And some children here go with a scholarship to other countries for study, high school and university.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I guess they come back later, right, and apply what they studied there, or they stay there in the other countries, or it depends.
Sometimes they back, but in the other times they, I don't know how to say permanecen
They
in English.
they stay there.
Stay there, yeah.
Okay, wow, that's nice. That's nice. Your organization is helping kids to educate themselves. That's great. What about Stefano? Stefano, do you have any question or a point of view
About what topic?
about the topic that was just mentioned right now, the lack of education?
I listen you lag. Can you repeat me, please?
The lack of education in Ecuador.
Lack of education
Lack.
and what it means.
Lack of education means I'm gonna
Education,
say
like
falta de educación, lack of education.
falta de educación, lack of education.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's like a big, huge problem.
Mhm.
Because it's like if a if the person don't give the learning that it must have, like the basic things,
Mhm.
it will be like ignorante.
Yeah.
And that is the worst people who they just like think and they think and they can change its mind. So I guess it's the worst, and it's the most people. I guess it's 50, it's the most of the 50% in the world like have this like ignorance.
Ignorance. Yeah. 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 I mean, education, lack of education and ignorance go by hand, right? Like, if there's one, there's the other, obviously. Yeah. If you want, all of you, you can check numbers in the sense el censo. Yeah, and there you can see exactly how how many people actually graduate from high school and then university and then a master degree or anything in the third level. So you or fourth, I think it's fourth. Anyway, there you will see that the numbers are not so nice, are not so nice. But still, at the same time, I'm just gonna throw out a little data here. At the same time, there's no trust for education, we could say. For example, people don't study but still think that they have enough knowledge to open a business and make a business, make a big business and maybe compete with huge businesses. So yeah, even though sometimes it does happen, there's no trust for education in general. uh, Okay, anyway, does anybody have any other question? I want to hear one more question or one more point of view before I start with my questions for the group. No, Stefano, give me a number.
5.
5, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be Amy. Amy Burgos. Tell us, do you have a question or do you want to put your point of view in the topic just mentioned?
No, teacher, actually, I don't have any question, but yes, sadly, the education has many problems, has say. So I hope, and I think all of us hope this will improve little by little, baby steps.
Thanks.
You
Yeah, yeah. Probably it won't be solved in 4 years or 10 years. Probably we'll have to wait for a generation. But anyway, Amy, for you, just a question: what do you think? Is it improving? Like, if we compare 20 years ago, our last generation and this generation, has education improved in these 20 years in Ecuador? What do you think, Amy?
actually, yes, we have improved. No, oh, mm, how I say that? Not not as much as you will like, but we have improved.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can use that little phrase, it's in the chat. There is still a long way to go, right?
Yes.
Still a long way to go. So yeah. Great. So now I have my questions for the group. Brian, Daira, Astrid, Samad. This is an open question for any of you four. Uh, okay. First, one of the solutions you mentioned was giving tools, right? Giving tools to people that have low resources and that cannot go to class, cannot actually be in class. So like that, they can at least educate themselves, auto-educate, we could say. But for that, we need money. So where do you think we should get that money from? Maybe more taxes, maybe how? Uh, how should we get that money to get these tools to those people? What do you think? Oh, this is a big one, right? Brian, Daira, Samar, Astrid?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Brian. So where should we get the money to get the tools?
Sorry, teacher. Could you repeat this?
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat one more time. Where should we get the money to
Okay.
give the tools for the low resource kids that need education? Now in this moment, COVID, because they don't have internet and they don't have tablets or computers or laptops or anything. So we have to buy it, right? Where do we get the money from? Companies, private sector, internet,
Um,
taxes.
the question is how people gets money in this pandemic for education for
No, the question will be how should the government make
okay,
money to give it to the low resourced children?
okay, how the government give money to solve them this situation. Okay, okay, the respondo.
Yeah, yeah, please give me an answer.
Teacher, yeah. A ver, aquí inspirar, teacher. Okay, government gives money. Okay, first the state, no government,
Uh-huh.
um, have ay, ¿cómo se dice? Rapidito, the dictionary. Yeah, okay. How workforce have products, uh, prime materia prima, teacher,
Prime matter.
prime matter, okay?
Okay.
They have this, have people, have teams, and have places of work.
Okay.
The government are people sitting in a chair thinking whatever thing that not have a space in this situation. Governments don't promote or don't no promoting is promote, ¿verdad?
Don't promote. Yeah. Doesn't
Don't-
promote.
Government don't promote the work for all the people. Why? In the old Tahuantinsuyo, el ama Shua, ama Kilia, llama Shua, creo que. Bueno, it is don't steal, don't be um, don't be a lazy people, and don't do the bad of other people. Work with a better person working. Uh, Realize a harder soul and harder values from the mind of the people that are working and the people that are studying. Okay, yeah, from this point of view. Okay, to generate money, We have we have places of work in all of you can see. You go to the port, you see um, planes puricated from the other people. You go to the streets and you see these streets so dirty. You see houses, you see this grafiteado. It's not grafiteado, it's not grabado, it's rayoneado. You can see work for all the places in all the situations. Okay? But what is the problem? We don't have money. Why we don't have money? Because the Ecuador be a poor state. No, the richment of the state are divided in three sectors. In nothing or else are the people, the common people that you see every day in the street. No, they live with a basic salary. They live with the sufficient to daily to the daily. They live con las justas, por así decir.
Yeah, tighten up. Yeah.
People say big, why the state don't realize don't print more money, uh, but the thing don't 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 work for this kind of view for this form de esa manera, ¿ok? Okay. ¿Qué está haciendo? A ver, en español. What are doing the state from resolve the situation of the lack of money and work and education? What are doing the state? What are doing the government? What say the politicians about this? Nothing, teacher, nothing. Theoretically, the state of Ecuador is the most beautiful thing in the world. We respect the nature, we respect ourselves, we respect all. But not easy. It is not true. Okay? And the government don't promote the education because it's more benefit from a bad state to have a society that don't new think, that don't have the knowledge about the real situations and needs. The government don't promote the work. The government close a place of work, punch of people that are working, and les quitan, ¿cómo se dicen les quitan, teacher?
Are taken away, or what's taken away?
They're taking away her unique form of work to have money. State and government and politicians say when establish some ¿cómo le digo? Para acabar ya.
Finish. But Brian, you're getting a little bit outside the topic because
Sí, sí, sí. Esto solo para responder. Okay, first we have work in other can see. Second, government politicians and the state don't approve, don't promote. And the last, we have energy to work. We have healthy to work. We don't have a state that provide the work. It is the biggest problem. The states don't have interest in the development
uh-huh.
to economics of the people because are only interested in the economic benefits from the people um, that are encargados,
In charge of.
that are in charge of the of the tip in the ¿cómo se dice? In the social pyramid. I I responded your question, teacher, or no?
Okay, so I am understanding this. At the beginning, you had an approach of there are a lot of places of work, so that means there are a lot of people working, and everybody should give a little bit for for these kids to have tools. But then I understood that you are saying that the government has a focus on looking for their own economical benefit, right? Yeah, the government is looking for money for them, not for the people, but for them, right?
Exactly.
So that means that you're saying you're proposing to basically eliminate all these bad things that are happening in the government.
Okay, teacher, my response
Huh?
of these questions, ever this, we need to change the ecosystem because don't don't it serves. We need to change.
Okay. So I think maybe like the other group, Amy, Eric, Carla, and maybe they will have an answer to that because they are going to speak about the problems in the government. So let's not spoil. Okay, Brian, let's not spoil that. I'm gonna go to the next question because I believe I know what the answer is going to be in that one. Okay. So the next question for Daira, Samar, or Astrid. Uh, one of the things you said was okay. We need adequate education. Not poor education, but good education. We need good education. So what should we do? What should we change to have good education in Ecuador? So that's going to be for Daira, Samar, or Astrid. Brian, give me a number.
Teacher me.
No, Astrid.
But the question is about that, how improve the education.
Yeah, how to improve education? How?
Okay. First, maybe for prepare more to the teachers and put more attention to some specific songs. I don't know how to say. Because, for example, in the city, the education is not excellent, but it's good, it's normal. But for example, in the, I don't know if the name, rural place, I don't know. Yes,
Rule.
don't put a lot of attention. So they have education, but also the teachers are not so prepared, and then they just it's like how do you say descuido?
It's like they don't care too much about.
Okay, the government don't care too much about this place and don't put attention. So just it's okay, exists school and that, and it's not so good. So the education is not good, so good, and also not just in the rural zone, sometimes in the coast and but in the really parts that are poor.
Okay. Okay.
So I think that that's one little thing that could change for improve because just put more attention in some places than others,
Okay.
and improve the capacitation to the teachers and that.
Okay. So you're basically saying improve education around Ecuador in general, and not exactly in the big cities, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay, but Astrid, I will actually indirectly make the same question from last time, because to improve it, we need more money. Where are we gonna get that money from?
Yeah, that's another point. Why teacher you ask that? I don't know. Maybe now I'm gonna put my attention now that we had COVID and that things.
Yeah.
For example, the government always, I think, that had a destinate of money to schools or high school or to education in general. So sometimes I think that in presential class, they, for example, give the money for some food, yes, food, because they give I don't know how they say that, colaciones or something like that.
Just lunch.
Lunch, okay. And maybe this money could be destined for that try to now replace the money to another functions,
Uh-huh.
like improve the teacher, because I heard that they do that now to the teachers, but just in city, no more. They try to do a capacitations to the teachers for the new technologies, because now the methodology is like just for internet. So they try to capacitate more and more, but just in the city, no in the rural place, on the person. So there's gonna be another solution. Try to destinate the money that used before to another functions to now the solution that gave before.
Okay, okay. So basically, you're saying we should administrate the money better, right? In a different way.
Exactly, teacher. Like this.
Okay, I like what you said. So great, great. Oh, we still have time. We still have 3 minutes. So this last question will go for Daira or Samar. Okay. Um, okay, indirectly it's about money too. Okay. Okay, so Samar seems like she had problems with the internet. She just disappeared right now. So Daira, the question will be for you, Daira. Okay. Uh, so in one point of the presentation, and this is actually something interesting, in one point of the presentation, you all said that, well, in general, education is free, right? Supposedly, education, you just have to go sit down and receive education, yeah? But in real life, education is not free because uh, the time you spend in school could be spent to make money, right? And sometimes people prefer going to make money. Like a lot of times people don't go to university because they say, you know what, I'm already making money, why do I want to go to university? So they're already receiving money for the 5, 10 years or whatever time they're going to be in the university, and obviously they're going to earn money. So indirectly, if you go to university, in the time you're studying, you lose money, right? Right, Daira?
I think yes, teacher.
Okay. So if yeah, okay, great. So do you think we should change the mentality of of people and push them to study after high school, maybe the university or maybe courses and stuff? What do you think? Or should we just push people to start working after they finish high school?
It depends of the family, I think, because, for example, on rural, the children's born to work, I think, because they grow in a family of a commerce family, so they, I think they help the country to get improve of the commerce and get money, obviously. So the children's were bred to know about a harvest or things like that. So they, I think they are not in their mind, I think they don't think on study,
Mhm.
so they only think to work and help their family. And I think they thoughts are I had to work to improve the money of the economy of my country, and I don't have to study because I already know how to work on the camp. So I think they think that. So in the urban zone, the children are different because they grow in a family with economic status very good. So they think I have to study to have my own business and help the economy to grow. So it depends on where you grow since you're born, because you can leave high school but it depends of the economic of your family, because if they don't have, you can study. And it's difficult because many children would like to study and and have business and a big business, I think. So they can't because of they are poor.
Exactly.
But also the rich people, the children that grow on a good family with good resources, they think, no, my family had money, so I had not to study, and I only grow to work in the business family, and I don't have to do nothing. And I think that, I don't know.
Exactly. So yes, actually, it's actually always the like the working class, right? Well, exactly the working class. I would say here in Ecuador, the middle class, middle high, middle low, the middle class eh, is always looking forward to study, but the really high class maybe not, and the very low class, even if they want, it's very difficult. So, Daira, do you think we should try to make everyone like studying like after school? Do we have to teach them, or maybe teach them different things in high school so they will be more ready when they finish high school? Well, what do you think?
I think it's important to improve the knowledge, because in high school we only learn basic things like mathematics or like this big, but you have to study university to prepare only in a specific way, in a specific I think um, signature to future work. So I think yes, it's important to go to university because you prepare with people that um, have been come with a very high knowledge. So you learn about that, and it's good to in the future uh, put in practice that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And now I'm just remembering a reading we did a couple months ago, a couple weeks ago, I think it was, of the moral acts. I don't know if you remember the moral act of where in the United States after the Civil War, there were some issues, right? And basically the government destined some money for colleges or universities in these rural areas where they can teach something more practical, so something in between. And I think it looks like now you have high school, university, but in the middle you have los colegios técnicos, the technical high schools or technical schools or colleges, something like that, where you can learn fast something that is useful. So yeah, maybe that can work too. Anyway, thank you so much for the presentation. Do we have any last questions or any last points of view? No? No more questions? Okay, great. Anyway, let me just open the forum. We have 15 minutes before the break. So in these 15 minutes, I want you opinions about lack of education. Okay, in these last 15 minutes, I just opened a forum where you...
Sir, sorry, I have a question.
Yes, sure.
This work, this task is in the platform.
Yeah, it's in the platform. Do you have access?
And yeah, I can't do that because I'm in my job
Oh, okay.
yet.
Can you write in your cell phone, maybe?
Yeah, maybe per WhatsApp.
Okay. If you don't have access by any chance, just let me know. Send it to my WhatsApp in writing, and I will upload it for you in the forum. Okay.
Okay, can you can you send me the ¿cómo digo lo que hay que hacer?
The task.
Yeah, the instruction.
Yeah, sure. So okay. So in this moment, you are just going to write your last opinions about what we spoke right now in class. Okay. What were
Okay.
about the lack of education and the solutions that we're giving. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Tools, educate yourself, adequate education, and all must contribute to for the benefit of all. So please give your last opinions in a writing. You have like 14 minutes to write. That means that you have to have around 150, around 150 words, plus minus 30 words. So between 120 and 180, okay? Your personal opinions. Remember to be as clear as possible, because I would like other people to read your opinions and to just watch the first part of the video of what you said about lack of education. Okay. So if you don't have access, just send it to my WhatsApp. If you do have access, start writing in this moment. I'm here for any question.